right, so we're here. We're going to keep working passing and breaking the guard because obviously one of the most important skills, white to black, is the ability to get out of people's guards in a variety of ways, right? So this week we're going to work on hand pin passing, which is where we're here, and I'm looking to trap Austin's wrist to his stomach here. So we're going to be here, Austin will be moving, we'll be hand fighting, doing stuff, and all I'm going to look to do is if you have the gi, you can set a grip of some sort. I'm not real heavy on gi grips most of the time, so all I'm going to look to do is just get in that top of his wrist, and I'm looking to pin that to his belt. I'm not trying to run it across his waist, I'm not trying to plant it to the mat. I just want it right, his wrist right on the center of his belt here. Once we get there, I'm going to open to that opposite side here. Here. Austin's going to keep his guard closed. Boom. I'm going to step up and up. Now, most people will follow you up here with their guard. And once you're here, right? Biggest thing I noticed from us Tuesday that we were struggling with. One, a lot of us were like leaning way over straight-legged. I still want to stay in a little bit of a bent leg, not quite a wrestling stance, but keeping my legs bent. And I'm trying to keep my hips over the top of my knees here. Because if I sit way too far down, my weight starts to fall back. If I go way too far forward, it goes over the top of them. So I'm trying to keep my knee up that center line and keep my weight centered here. Now, once you're here, all we're going to look to do, set that knee grip here, and I'm going to look to break that guard here. And I'm trying to open it towards that side that we're here. Nice part with this is, all we're going to do, simple, staple here. Our one foot is already sitting behind his butt here, which is nice for a variety of options. But all we're going to do is keep it simple today. Scoop the head, pass the leg. Biggest thing here, guys, is just keeping that balance when you stand up for this pass. That was the biggest thing we were struggling with on Tuesday, was just that balance factor. So we're here. Boom. I step up. Keep my hips solid here. Breaking that guard. Once you're there, staple down. Questions on this one?
No gi, you're just grabbing the front of the shin, right?
Yeah, just front of that shin, pressing on that thigh. You still have all the same options. Like realize, 99% of the time, unless I'm gi choking you, I'm very rarely actually grabbing your ribs. It's not a huge part of my game. Probably something I should work on, but I am who I am as a person, so it is what it is, right? So when I go there, I can still just press, right? You can press here, variety of grips and options you can have. Not much changes gi to no gi. The only thing you can do better gi-wise is this grip can be super useful. So like if he closes his guard real tight and I pop up, some people like this grip and use it for a couple other options. I just don't find those to be as useful as opposed to here, being more balanced. A lot of times you end up like this to hit a couple of the passes with this hand pin pass and you get swept out of it if they break your grip. So it's just not something I prefer. It's not a huge part of my game.
So you're not trying to posture just
I'm trying to get to standing with good balance. So when I'm here, I'm not trying to stand way up high and tall here. Because the problem is, if they're halfway decent at guard, they can just abandon the close, and then you're an open guard standing way too tall. Because realize, one, they can just scoop your ankles here, feet to hips, kick you back. Like that's a very simple pass that you work. Even if you're kind of anchored back and in a staggered stance and all that, standing up way tall here outside of MMA, you don't do. And even MMA, I don't recommend it a ton because I want to stay balanced here so that I have better control of his legs. If I'm standing up here, especially for MMA and self-defense purposes, that's coming for you. So I want to stay in that kind of bent over position so if that leg starts to move, I can start doing other things.
I don't know if maybe I was doing this wrong, but this happened yesterday. So I was this and I pushed the leg down and they sneaked their foot in. So
like I'm here, Austin closes his guard real quick. Boom, I break here and he tries to swivel that in.
So,
Push it down.
okay.
Like, here's the nice part with it. Like, if he tries to hit this hook here and hook to the inside, it's great. He's just conceded the fact we're going to half guard. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I'm saying they're.
So they're hooking this leg to this knee. Great. Like they've just conceded the fact that I'm past that leg at that point. Because hooking that leg doesn't slow me down. So like if I'm here and he goes to that, you can knee cut. That's the other option from here is that simple knee cut pattern.
Because I think it was me that did it. I swung around. I swung around a De La Riva, is what I did.
Oh, if they're swinging De La Riva, totally separate problem we're not addressing.
Yeah, I think it was me that did it.
It was you.
Because I swung a De La Riva.
Yeah, if they swing this foot to the inside, that's totally separate problem we can address later. But if they're just hooking to like the insides of your knees here, yeah, if they do that, just push and knee cut through. Same staple, same everything. If they swivel that foot from the outside end to that De La Riva hook, that's a different problem we'll address. If you have control of the grips, you still can beat it pretty quickly and easily. Like if I still have this grip here and he swivels to that De La Riva, yeah, push and patch the other way. So it's not a huge deal, just not something to be. If they're swiveling for De La Riva, that's the wrong response there. So.
And when we stand up, we gotta be stepping out wide so they don't hook for the ankle,
Yeah.
right?
So that's why this knee comes out wide first, because I want to be this foot kind of away from this wrist. And that's also why we step up here first. Because some guys have just that, either the gangle length, or they just have good movement and can still hook that leg, which then I can drop back down if I need to. So that's why we step up here and then here. So that this foot, one, is a little bit wider, but also I have a better base. Good questions, guys. Any other ones? All right, drill her out. 1, 2, 3. Gangly legs. You don't have gangly legs. All right, so I'm here. He closes his guard, right? Boom. We pin the hand. Widen our stance. We step up, right? Boom. Couple things. One, a lot of you guys are just pushing. Remember, guys, you can use that elbow as a lever and to help you clear that ankle off your hip. All right? Now, let's say for whatever reason, we don't like that staple pass. We don't feel confident going there. We need a quick submission. I don't know. There's thousands. Right? We suck at guard passing just in general. Boom. I clear that leg, right? All we're going to look to do now is I'm going to look to drop back for this straight ankle. So boom. As we're here, I'm going to look to bring my knee in the center and to fall on top of that leg. I want to get his toes right to the back of my armpit. I don't want to have them way up on my shoulder. I want to slide back to the right on the back of my armpit here. This hand, I'm trying to put the blade of my thumb right under the ball of his ankle here. Once we're there, I'm going to connect my hands, collapse my elbow, arching my hips forward. Couple details that we were missing on Tuesday. 1, pinch your knees. Very vital. 2, make sure you're collapsing that elbow. Tightens everything up in a hurry, doesn't it? That, and manage the distance with your shin here. So if Sean's in here and he's trying to drive into me really hard, it's going to make finishing this hard because I don't have the leverage I need. So when I'm here, I need to extend him away just that little bit. Immediately tightens up your leg locks. That's the difference in between decent leg lockers and really good leg lockers, is their ability to maintain that distance with their feet. If you ever watch the top guys, the Craig Jones, the Gordon Ryans, the Eddie Cummins, all those guys who are really nasty leg lockers, the biggest difference in between them and most other people, 1, they can move their feet like hands, and it's eerily scary actually. But 2, they can also manage distance so much better with their feet. So when I'm here, I'm not letting you drive into me, I'm not letting you run away from me. If he starts to try to like kick out and run away, oh, we're going to pull you in, then we'll kick you away, then we'll get right where we need to be. It's all in this shin bone right here. This shin and the knee pinch is how I maintain my distance. That's the important controls. So we're here. Same thing. I get my here. We come up. I get this broke. He's blocking, whatever ends up happening. Or a lot of times guys will just leave this leg kind of lazily here. Like they're not really doing anything with it, which is why I'll come in here. Once you get here, guys, all you have to do is take your time and not let him attack your feet. Because your feet are technically protected right now. There's not a lot of options he has until he gets this ankle across his body. So if he gets that ankle across his body, one, he's reaping for you, which is dumb. But two, he doesn't really have anything until he gets it there. So when we're here, that's when you can start taking your time, getting there, and setting up your lunge. Like I said, the biggest thing is I want kind of the curl of his toes right here on my armpit. Kind of right in that pit there. Because a lot of people get it to where their foot's like past here. And they sit here and they're like, right, it's there, but it's not, right? Like it's kind of just meh. But boom, I get there, I collapse that elbow, it's immediate. That's the difference, is that foot positioning, that elbow collapse.
About that position to right.
Boom, right on that shin bone. Because I'm trying to use the blade of my wrist to cause pain on that Achilles. So for this side, if I'm here, right, I'm looking to have his toes right in the back of that armpit there. That connects in. Once I get my elbow down, it's there. It's just how much pressure do I want to apply until it gets there. Questions on that?
I feel like a lot of time when I do this, I have a really hard time getting my hand on my arm. Like, what is it that there's not enough space? What am I doing that I can't get up?
Biggest thing I'll run into spacing wise, like if I get to here, it's like, man, why can't I get this here? You're not managing distance. Because what's going to start happening is Sean's not going to lay here and let me just leg lock him, right? Like most people have two immediate problems with leg locks. They're either really afraid of them or they freak out and try to just get out of them, right? Like most people aren't calm in leg locks, which is why actually people get hurt in them more. So what he's going to start defending and all that, and that's going to make it really tough to maintain my grips and things, right? So a couple of things you can do. One, I will always open my knees outwards to disconnect his legs. That was something Bobby Emmons showed me at one of his last seminars. We're here, he's hand fighting, he's doing stuff, boom. Boom, pop, pop.
So you're going out and then back in.
Pop, pop. But with a leg. We're here, pop, pop. One, it makes it hard to balance. Like if he's hand fighting and doing things, pop, pop. But two, it's just that, 6 inches of space you need to slip in there. And it allows me to control my distance. So when I'm here, boom, here. That'll be the biggest thing, is using those legs to commit your distances. Does that make sense? Okay.
Your top foot. Tuesday you mentioned something about like putting it on the hip.
So I'll show you on this side. So 90% of tournaments do not allow you to do what's called reaping. Technical term for reaping is when your heel comes from the outside of his leg across his hip line. So, not reaping, reaping. It is an instant disqualification at some tournaments. So like IBJJF, you're done. Especially if they speak Portuguese, you're probably disqualified anyway. But when I'm here, I'm generally going to pinch. Collapse this foot, kind of tuck it behind his back. Main reason being, I don't want to get called for a reaping. Now, if it's a sport where I can, most of my no-gi tournaments, MMA, I'm going to put this right in your belly and let you know I'm there. But that is a rule set based decision, not a...
That's killer loose.
Yeah, once I'm here, I have control of you. The problem is, in a gi tournament, if he pushes my foot just across a little bit, and he goes, ah! Which if you're like, oh, people wouldn't do that. Watch them do that. I watched a dude sit in 50-50. They were trading leg locks. Guy, it wasn't going old boy's way. He just pushed the dude's foot across the street. Ref goes, yeah, DQ, you lose. Get out of here. So it's like, I'm not risking that. Got $100 a pop for a tournament. Sorry, I'm going to. Now, me, I go here because my rules set allow for savagery and I'll rip your ankle off on the way. But if I can't do that, right, in the pajamas, I'm coming here. Because worst case scenario, I can come up, do other things. Gives you a little more mobility. So that's the reaping call. Fuji, I know you can't reap. Grappling Industries, I know you can't reap in the gi at all. IBJJF, you look like you're reaping. They're going to hose you against a Brazilian. Like, oh, they wouldn't do that. I watched some very questionable calls. If you can speak English. So you got to be careful about those things. Always. Other questions on this?
Sir.
All right, chiller out. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Boom, we're here. Boom. I wrist pin. I get up. I break. Now, let's assume that we like leg locks, or we need to submit quickly, or any of a dozen other reasons, or we just like knee bars. That's also pretty awesome too. So we're here, right? Boom. All we're gonna do is, as soon as I catch the fact that this ankle is not being active or engaged, right? I break this guard and he doesn't initially put it to my hip, put it to somewhere, attack something. All we're gonna do here, I'm gonna look to push that wrist across, and this knee is going to slide down and around. Now, as we're doing that, you have to come into him. So the motion here is down and around, like you're turning the corner. So I'm here, I cut down and around. My elbow is looking to find his ankle here. Here. Once you're here, your elbow comes back, your hips come forward. And you finish. Boom, we get here, I break. I come low. A lot of you guys are going to stay tall on this and you're not going to get it, and I'm going to get to laugh at you. All right? We're here, I have to come low. Around. That, once this knee comes through, it tucks tight. Knee pinch is still important here, guys. Here. Once we're here, I tuck my elbow in, lean back, pinch the knees. Here. This foot has to be active, but doesn't have to be doing anything in particular. Hip blocking, pinching, just has to be engaged. Once you're here, fall back. If it's not working, tuck it to your chest. We do not pull the lever, we attach and extend it. If I catch one of you trying to like bicep curl his thigh, I will kick you. Because none of you were that strong. Curl your ankle to your left. I am a welterweight, and it's still roughly hard against a flyweight on a good day, right? I have 50 pounds on him in our competitive weights and probably 60 on him right now. So I'm not curling him. I attach this to my chest, pinch my knees, ride my hips forward. It's that way. So we're here. Boom, I pin, I stand up, I break. I bring this wrist across, drive that knee through. As soon as that knee comes through, I'm looking to twist here. My elbow collapses and I keep this leg tight, drive my hips forward. If that's not working, attach to your chest, arm bar the leg. It's literally the same thing. Questions on this one?
When you're doing the knee slice through,
Yes.
did I just see you feed the arm and then kind of
Yeah, I'm
do
pushing
like a
it.
replacement theory with?
Yeah, I'm just getting it to where he's turned that way. So like, let's say I'm here. All I'm looking to do is push that across, just because it helps me with that turn.
Yeah, I thought I saw you come across and finish pushing with the elbow. I thought is what I saw.
Oh, yeah, I'm not worried about that arm that much.
Okay.
More focused on getting to here. Yeah.
Can I see the detail on that one more time?
Yeah, so we're here. Boom. All I'm looking to do is, once I clear this leg, I'm just helping him turn that way that little bit. Because all that does,
Get right there.
Gotcha.
it's more for balance because I'm doing it
So you
slow.
kind of shove off the back of the shoulder.
Yeah, I can if I need to, but yeah, I'm doing that more for speed purposes and because I'm
I'm a
balanced.
fat old man, so that's the reason I'm.
Super important, like how you do it.
Yeah. So when I'm here, like if I hit this closer to full speed,
Gotcha.
I'm not needing that. But yes, if you do need it, you can feed here. Get it.
what if you turn too quick and that leg pop? Oh, never mind. I see now.
He starts turning into me, or starts coming out. You're in the shootout again. Now you're reaped like a mother, but that'll happen. Other questions on this?
If you're not snappy with that, will they try to take your back? Or if you're not tight?
Oh, if you miss this, yes, they are taking your back and arm. For educational purposes only. Yeah, you better be on your P's and Q's.
That's what I'm saying. Where you like? How you getting that foot placement right there? That's,
Boom. So when I'm coming through here, the leg that is coming through here, the nice part about this is as it cuts around, it naturally traps itself on that top of that thigh. So if you look here, this leg's still attached here, tight. So when I come through, the nice part is if he starts to kick out or try to get away from me here,
yeah.
I have a good bite on everything. All I need is a good pinch. Like I said, the biggest mistakes you guys will make is one, you'll stay tall in that spin. You have to squat into it, down and around. The other common mistake I see is pulling the lever. You want to attach that either in the armpit or to your chest. Either way, you want to extend the hips, not pull the lever. Pull the lever, Crunk. Right? If you're my age or have kids my age, that's great movie. All right? Make sense? 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, so we're here. Boom. I pin. I step up. I break, right? But let's assume I don't want to pass going low, and I'm not a leg locker, or leg locks aren't allowed in my rule set, or any of a dozen other things, right? So boom, we get this pin. All we're gonna look to do is drive our hips forward and push his ankles up here. Because all we're looking to do here is bait that reaction that he's gonna kick his legs up and throw them past. Because once I'm here, if I come up and I start driving my hips forward and he doesn't do anything, like I'll just sit on you. So most people, even if I get to this point, are going to kick their legs up real hard. Boom. That's all we're looking to do is bait that pass. So we're here. Hand pin, I come up. I'm like, I don't want to knee cut. I don't feel like my leg lock's there. Boom. Hips forward, hips pass.
So you'll go singly forward too then?
Yeah, because
You'll have your staple in and you just go ahead and push forward anyway.
Yeah, because I'll come here. Once I get here, if I don't feel like this staple is going to be where I want it to be, or he starts swiveling his hips and he starts, stop it.
All right.
We talk about
Like a no-brainer, but like.
I talk about it all the time. I want your reaction to be wrong regardless what you do. So if I break your guard and I have your hand pinned, right? Sean does this side. He starts to open to this side. He's going to start doing something. Yeah, you're wrong. I'm going to staple pass and go this way, right? He starts to engage his hips and my feet, boom, all that. I don't want him there anyway. He starts to turn this way and starts to do all sorts of other things. That's fine. I don't care what you do. You're wrong. That is always my goal. When you get to a position where you have an advantage, the only way things get better is you exploit that advantage and keep making him choose wrong. So if I go to a pass and I only have one option, hopefully that option works. But if it doesn't, I'm kind of hosed. I got to go back to the drawing board, right? The reason I catch most of you guys is not magic. It's I have more options than you do. When I go to a position, it's not one sub that I'm attempting. How many times have you been like, oh, he's going for the arm bar, and then I choke you, or then something else happens, or I take your back, right? It's not that you did everything right. You defended the arm bar, but defending that arm bar gave me the bicep slicer, or gave me the back take, or gave me the triangle, gave me the head and arm. That's the point of why we do positional versus transitional practices. So the reason, there's two types of classes. If you've ever gone to other schools, you'll see this. There are people who show a transitional type move. They will show They'll break that guard, they'll go here, they'll go side control into a Kimura lock, right? And it's a one-path lock. I never liked that because he's going to respond at some point, right? He's not just going to let me do whatever I want. So that's why we do more of a positional style, where I'm going to show you 2-3 different options off the same pass, or off the same guard break, or off the same, finish, right? So that way, when he eventually reacts as a live person, I have more options to beat you with than the one path I was taught. Those are great classes. You can learn a lot that way. Those are the best beginners classes, is that direct line. You do, I've seen the lesson plan. You do this takedown into this guard pass into this dominant position to this submission. I've taught those classes before, mixed reviews, right? When we had an actual white belt only class, that was what we did. But for you guys who have been here more than 10 minutes, right? It's much better to have that options bar long, so that way, regardless of what Sean does, he's wrong. That's always my goal.
You just always chain.
It's chain, and the longer that chain gets, the better. And the more connections to other chains it has, the better. So that guard break has a chain into my leg lock chain. It also has into my staple pass chain. It also has into my armbar chain. Like, it has, not only is it a long chain this way, its connections are great. It's like a spider web chain, right? Does that make sense? Am I explaining that well? That's just enough of an energy drink that I'm hyped up. I'm sweating already, man. It's not good. So, questions on that?
Tuesday, when we were working on this, I kept ending up in double underhooks. I don't know how I was doing it. I'm doing it wrong somehow. A, is that wrong to end up there? And B, how do I prevent that?
When I land, I'm in double underhooks?
No, when I thrust the hips, I was somehow ending up also, like, I was just throwing my weight too hard, and I was in double underhooks.
Oh, like you have double, like this? Perfect.
It's fine.
No problem there. Because if I'm here, right, and I throw my hips forward, I want my hands back here anyway, because when he kicks up, I want to clear those legs out. So yeah, not a problem at all. That's chef's kiss, how you want it. Other questions? Driller out. 1, 2, 3.